What's up, guys? How you doing tonight? It's your favorite man, the one and only Rashid Martin. And thank you for tuning in to this edition of The Quiet Storm. I'm your one and only voice of reason, the man that you already know. Okay, let's step right into it. Okay, what can we talk about? We can talk about maybe what's good to talk about. Let's talk about what can we talk about, guys? I'm just gonna share something we got. Let me share something. When you're around people and people don't know what you're going through, just go through it. Just go through it. Just go through it. Don't anticipate. Excuse me. Hello again. Don't anticipate or wonder, if anybody's, trying to help you. Don't anticipate it. Because number one, you don't know what it's going to entail if you do that. The best thing to do, my advice to you guys, the best thing to do is just to set an example still for yourself. Set a goal. Say, hey, this is what I want to do now, because this is something that, I follow. A lot of people follow up, but they don't follow up. So it takes time to follow that up. Another thing, let's move on to the next thing. Man, look at here. When you're following something so great, it gets, sometimes it takes a while to get used to, certain conditions and routines and what people are giving you. I'm learning that now. But the next thing is get it plenty of rest, man. Sleep is very important. Sleep is very important. Some people may not think so, but sleep, I think, is very important. Another thing, eat a balanced meal, a balanced breakfast. Eat something for breakfast, whether it be a pear or orange or something like that. But as long as you're eating healthy, that's the main thing. Another thing, people, they turn to you. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Told you it's been a long day, guys. Normally, I would have a lot to say, but I think because the push that I did today, I did a lot in a short period of time, and that's what it takes, man. You gotta be able to get things done, and you gotta stay motivated. The way you do that is you find someone who's able to push you to your limit. And when that happens, you pass on the legacy to the next person. It's like passing up a baton to the next person. You don't know what that person's going to do with it, but you do know that they have it. And once they have it, now it's up to them to use it in a good way. Sometimes, excuse me, sometimes it's good to acknowledge that you have good people around you. Sometimes it's good to acknowledge that you're doing something that's going to benefit the people that is around you. Each person has a way to be benefited, but you got to find out what it is that brings that person to that the senses, I would say. But anyway, I'm just glad that I'm able to share this point of view. I'm glad that some of you are trying to figure out what it is what's your next step. It's hard to do so many things, do these things, and then in confidence, and not be able to, excuse me, guys. Put it on pause. Sorry about that. I needed something to keep me up. Now I'm awake. Orange juice do the trick, man. Orange juice. It always does the trick. What was I saying? Quote unquote, the best thing to do to get yourself right is to find what it is that you're able to do that makes you active. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you going? Another thing. Let me share. I just want to share a few things running past you to see if you agree, because a lot of you think of these things, and I'm just pointing out what it is that some of you are thinking about, but don't say it out loud in front of other people because of the stereotype and the discrimination that's coming against you. So, with that being said, as someone who's the voice of reason for you guys, let me point out some things. Let me share. Here's something that's been in my mind. What is a king? A king is someone who leads by example and take care of others as he's going along, who's doing things in the right direction, in the right way, but leading by example. Here's something that I found, something that I noticed that a lot of men don't do the kingdom type of thinking. Now, it takes practice. I know it takes practice to learn that, to practice these applications. But here's something you don't know. A king don't need to tell others that he's a king. You don't need to share that. You know you're a king. You were created to be and be born something unique. A king is someone who who leads by example and helps others, through experiences that he or she been through in his lifetime. But he helps others as he goes along. Excuse me. Orange juice does the trick. There's a lot of men who feel like they're king of their household, but they don't do the acts of a king. A king is someone who knows he's a king, but treats others with respect and kindness. That's the true strength and power of being a king. You treat others with respect, and you treat yourself with respect, and people will respect you. Now, there was something that I saw today. Something that I saw that showed me that this man and this woman, on his TV show or on the show, in front of cameras, she gave him something to eat. She gave him and told him, it's between us. Shh, don't let nobody know. But her boyfriend, I guess he was upset with what he saw. So the story goes, he said, you should treat me as your king. Okay, pause for a minute. You shouldn't have to say you should treat me as a king. You don't have to say it. A king knows he's a king. Just like Jesus knew he was the King of Kings. He didn't have to say he was a king. He just knew he was a King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He didn't have to say he was King of Kings, Lord of Lords. He already knew that. So he shared that, and she got down on the floor and kissed this man's feet. Now, here's something to think about. You should never, ever, ever, ever let a woman kiss your feet as a man. Never. There's no reason for it. That's my opinion. But as a man, from one man to the next, you should never let your wife kiss your feet. The reason, I'm going to give you a reason. Excuse me. Reason being, number one, she already knows who you are. You don't have to say you're king to her. She already knows you're king. She treating you like that way because you believe you are. Not because you say you are, or you telling her this is what you should do. Another thing, if you are in your own household, you don't need to share, just do what you gotta do as a man. That's just period. You just do it. Even if it seems like you're not getting the respect that you deserve, who say that you earned it? Did you earn it in a way where it was benefiting the next person? Excuse me. I think a lot of people have seen this story. But to me, in my opinion, no woman should have to kiss a man's feet, because if he feels like a king or not in his own home, you don't have to do that. If you know you're king, you know you're king. Period. There's no exceptions to that. You just lead by example, and you lead the people by example. That's what a real king leads people by example, rather than sharing things and controlling people and telling them that this is discriminating against them because of who they are. That's something that I disagree with. Other men may agree the other way around. But that's something that I disagree with as a man. I don't believe a woman should kiss a man's feet because he said you should treat him like a king. You're king, you know you're king, have faith, be humble, and take care of your household. That's it. Then the other person or man won't come into the picture to be in your place. He's in your shoes now. And now you emotionally is upset with your girlfriend because how she treated him more than you. Don't sell yourself short, man. Look at here. Be a man, whatever it is, and move on from it. Hey there. I didn't want to be interrupted because when you're sharing information that's very important, you find a way to get through it without having to tell people who you are. If you need to defend your own identity, you're not a king. You're not known as a king. You telling yourself, oh, I am a king. No. I'm going to tell you a story about someone that was a king. His name was Nebuchadnezzar. He was a king, and he was a king, and everybody followed him because he had a banquet. He had a banquet, and everybody came, and everybody saw him, and everybody was, amazed by this statue that he made. So he made this statue for everybody to worship it. It's made of gold, silver, metal, and bronze. Now, here's the thing. He's a king. And this young man, or these three young men, no. Not before that. There was this man. There was, how can I say this? Excuse me. There was a man that was, he was a very open-minded person. He knew about signs and things on the wall. It's called the writing on the wall. So the writing on the wall, the king could not understand that writing because he said he was a king and he had people come in. So Nebuchadnezzar wanted to find someone who understand the writings on the wall. So he found one man. His name was Daniel. Daniel was a prophet. Daniel was able to see the writings and dreams and interpretation of dreams, and he understood these things. So Daniel was called, he was summoned. And a king asked Daniel to read his writing on the wall because no one else could understand it. So all the scientists and people that came before him, but Daniel wasn't college educated. But Daniel can see things in his visions and his dreams, and he can understand what the writings are. So Daniel expressed to this king Nebuchadnezzar what the writings meant. So Nebuchadnezzar, was very, very, very shocked that Daniel was able to read his writing, and all these people he brought in was not able to read the writings on the wall. It shocked him. These people were astrologers, scholars, scientists who can read writings and interpret them, but Daniel was able to interpret them. He never went to school for it. The reason why I'm sharing this story, because a king, if you feel like you're a king and you don't understand writings or, taking control of who's within your circle of small people, a group of people, then that tells me you're not leading by example. A king leads by example, but he leads by the right example. Sometimes you're going to have an example that's going to say, oh, I'm this type of king. People know that what king you are. So the reason why I'm relating it to you guys, if you are someone who feels like a king in your house, feel like it. But don't express it in a way where it discriminates against other people and bring them down. You gotta be of good cheer. You gotta have a saving faith, not a dying faith. Excuse me. So for me, I know these videos are very insightful. I'll give you insights to why a man would say so. I'm breaking this code for you guys. He said that because he felt like he has done everything because she's his queen. No, no, no. It should be the other way around. If you're a king in your own home and she's your queen, you gotta make sure she's satisfied or happy. Because to me, in my mind, seeing her kiss this man's feet, it made me realize that she feels like he's worthy of her being his queen. No, you are worthy. If you want to kiss another person's feet, that means you are making yourself more identifiable to other people. To me, you cannot, put yourself in that situation because you are the person responsible for you. And you kissing another man's feet is like saying, oh, you're going to continue to kiss everything else on his body. Women, let me give you this advice. Don't settle for less. Find someone who is just like you, but wait 2 years to do it. I know that's a longer way to wait, but it's important to wait for the right person to come along, who's going to treat you right and treat you like the queen that you are, because he know you're worth it. A lot of men don't know how much women's worth is, because sometimes a woman can say one thing to you and look at you with these eyes of, hey, it's time for you to move on. I had enough of that. A lot of men don't realize, what women are saying to you because you don't understand what it means to be treated like a king or a queen. You gotta know what it takes to be treated like a real king in your household. A king is someone who takes lead and who leads by example. A greater example of all examples, that's a king. That's a big responsibility. But as men, you don't need your woman to kiss your feet. No, you don't. All you need is a good heart and show your support towards your significant other. So that's the way it should be. I saw that today and it kind of was in my spirit to share that with you guys so that you guys know, in order for you to be where you need to be, you got to take care of what you need to be. You got to take care of it yourself, because people find ways to take care of themselves. But the best way of all that is learn the knowledge of you. The knowledge of you, which you get when you go to school. But the knowledge of you is not necessary in school. It's in the experiences you go through. Like, whatever your experience is, go through it, assess it, and then transition it into something that's just you. It makes you comfortable. It makes you feel right. But that's the way it goes. Okay, guys, I wanted you to know that God loves you. May the Lord continue to bless you and keep you. May He continue to raise you up and continue. In the Lord Jesus' name. That's it. All right, guys. I tell you what, man. You guys remember, stay encouraged, stay in good faith, and stay in, go, man. Look, you gotta be prepared. Sorry, guys, I kind of drifted off a little bit. My apologies. you kind of have to be prepared for what's coming your way, like Daniel did. You know, when you're a king, the king thought Daniel he was surprised at how much he knew about what the writings were. You got to be aware of who you are when you're around people, and when you're not with people, you got to be aware of what type of person you want to be when you're around people that you already familiar with. But you got to be prepared around people that are not on the same level as you, on the same page as you. Don't treat them any different. Treat them as a normal person as you. Okay? I want you to. Oh. So, remember that. Alright, guys. This is another segment of The Quiet Storm. I'm your main man, your host of this beautiful, wonderful ministry. The ministry that is known to all people in all places. I'm Rashid Martin, and this is The Quiet Storm. You guys have a blessed night.